Hello everyone, just wanted to give a thoughts video on the Apple event that just happened. They showed some new cool products, not going into the iPhones. Basically, it's a refresh of the 12. They might as well have called it the 12S. The blue color and the 13, not really feeling that blue. And promotion finally comes to the Pro phones. Yippee. Alright, let's move on to the stuff that I want to get into, and that is the iPads. So Apple has finally redesigned the iPadMini with a full screen display, just like the iPad Pro and Air. So as we can see here on their website, now it has Apple Pencil 2 support. So really the only iPad left that doesn't have it is the base iPad, but we'll get into that in a little bit. As we can see, the iPad mini now comes with the A15 chip, which I was surprised. I thought they were just going to put the A14 from the Air, but they gave us the A15. In addition to a new chip, they also gave the front-facing camera that new center stage feature that's on the new Pro, which is really nice. I'm glad that Apple's focusing on people who do video conferencing and virtual learning. Really, with the tech specs, Apple, like each of their chips at this point are like ridiculously fast. Like if you have like a recent iPad that's been made in the last couple of years, like it's more than fast enough. The iPad Pro from 2018 is still plenty fast. This is a huge thing for the iPad mini because it has not been updated since 2012, I think. It's cool to see that it has Apple Pencil 2 support and Touch ID embedded into the power button, just like the Air. With that being said, though, with a new design, basically a smaller iPad Pro, it got a price increase. So it went from $400 to $500. I'm not really digging these new colors. I think the Air had better colors because at least you had the silver if you didn't want space gray. If I were getting a mini, personally, I would go with space gray. So I think this will definitely fit a niche. It's really cool to have a tablet this small, basically a Kindle-sized tablet in 2021 that packs this much power and performance. I don't think it would fit my workflow personally because the screen size, even though it is bigger than the previous iPad mini, it's just too small for me to really do anything. I mean, it'll serve a need for the niche audience. I like how compact it looks, really sleek. All right, so going on to the 9th generation iPad. So a quick story. So before I sort of followed up on the iPads, I had an iPad mini 2. And I used it when I was in college. All the iPad mini 2 really was just a textbook e-reader. That's all I did. I bought all my textbooks digitally. Well, I didn't buy them, I rented them. Renting textbooks, anyone who's going to college right now, renting textbooks is substantially cheaper than buying them. You're never going to read them again, just rent them. Anyways, so I rented my textbooks, and that's what the iPad mini 2 served as, and I watched videos on it. However, in 2019, I was looking for a device where I could do note-taking and whatnot. I saw the iPad Pros, because prior to that, I didn't really pay attention to the Apple products, because they sort of lost my interest after like the iPhone 10 and the 10s. I was still rocking an iPhone 7 around that time. They had updated the basic iPad with pencil support and keyboard support. You got some of the Pro features, but in the most affordable package. All right. And Black Friday, the 7th generation iPad saw a price slash, so that's when I jumped on that. And I used that 7th generation iPad for my spring semester, and it was great. I jotted my notes down. I had all the documents downloaded for my classes, and I annotated it. And it took away like all the binders I would used to bring with me, because I would bring 1-2 binders in my backpack for each class. And that because I'm an advocate for taking notes handwritten. I don't type my notes. It's just not how I learn. I like to write it down because it's that extra step of learning. So having a device that I can electronically stash them in folders and documents and have them backed up to the cloud in this thin and light device was just great for me. So I took out all those binders. All I was really carrying with me was my iPad and my laptop on some days. That's the only 2 devices I was carrying with me. It reduced the amount of stuff I was carrying on a daily basis. So from there, I saw the utility of the iPad. Then later on, I upgraded to the iPad Pro, which I used to edit and record the videos for this channel. And it's been amazing for content creation. I use it for design work. It's just one of my favorite devices I've used. Small side story over. The 9th generation iPad, not a whole lot has been changed. Well, there's some features worth noting. It uses the same chassis as the 7th generation iPad, which I guess that is the budget iPad, but I wish they would have made the screen size a little bit bigger because I think it is a tad bit small. It's really stretching in terms of space when you're doing note taking. But 10.2 is usable. It's a usable amount of space when you're just doing one page for notes and you have like a laptop setup. So all right, fine. They're sticking with 10.2 inch screen. I wish they would have used the old iPad Air chassis or slash iPad Pro 2017 chassis, but it is what it is. They're using the same chassis the third time. We'll see if next year they update it. It's got the same smart connector, the same Lightning, which it is odd that's the only one now that has Lightning instead of USB-C. And let me tell you, USB-C is great with the iPad Pro because I have a lot of devices that use USB-C, and it is nice to just have one universal cable to plug in everything. And it has just faster transfer data speeds, especially with the Pro now having Thunderbolt in the latest version. You still have the same accessories for the 9th generation iPad, which is a good thing. Like, for people who may have those accessories laying around, they can still use it on this one. Same Apple Pencil Generation 1. They actually updated with the A13 processor. I was surprised. I didn't think we haven't seen an A13 in an iPad, so it was surprising to see that they gave you the iPhone 11 chip in this thing. So it'll be plenty powerful. The iPhone 11 is still being sold today. Still has the same features. Take notes on it, which I recommend for college students on a budget. You definitely should get this iPad or the Air. The Mini is cool, the new Mini, because now it has a bigger size if you want to have something really portable, but that screen size is just still too small. It is called the Mini after all for note taking, so I would recommend either getting an iPad 9 or an Air, or even refurbished iPads that are in the Apple store, because they do sell them from time to time. Some of the new features this iPad has is it has the center stage, which I was surprised that they gave center stage to the budget iPad. They upgraded the main sensor because the the iPad 7th Gen had horrible cameras, so I'm surprised that they actually give you a really good camera in the main sensor, like the selfie camera, if you will. So that's nice. So if you're doing Zoom conferencing, it'll center in on your face, which again, they gave a Pro feature to the regular iPad, so that's a really good deal. They also gave the base iPad True Tone. So those are pretty good features. Also, they bumped up the storage. So instead of the horrendous 32 gigabytes that you really can't, unless you're just writing notes, you're going to run out of storage. I ran out of storage at 32 gigabytes because I was like, oh, well, my iPadMini 2 had 16, 32 is better. No, the apps get bigger and the updates get bigger, so 32 is not enough. All right, so they gave you 64. 64 it'll get you by. 64 gigabytes. That's better, Apple. At least you finally give people 64 gigabytes. But they got rid of the 128 gigabyte option, which is, I think, the sweet spot. They offer 256, which is good, but that just bumps up the price from $329 before tax to now $479, almost $500. So Apple, I see you. So you give us 64 at the base storage. So like, all right, we'll give you more storage at the base model, but we're not going to offer the 128 gigabyte model. 64 will get you by because it is a budget device, but I really wish they still offered that 128 gigabyte model. But that's give and take. That's what they give you more storage, but that means they're not offering you that sweet spot. Personally, if you're a college student and you're just getting this device for taking notes, 64 will be enough. I do like that the silver model also has the black borders as well. That's pretty neat. So they got rid of the gold, which who buys a gold iPad? Leave a comment below if you actually get gold Apple devices. All right, so the silver is kind of a new color because it no longer has the white bezels, it has the black one. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the iPads. I mean, I use an Apple Watch, like the Series 3. It still works great for me. It was a great gift. The Series 7 is cool with the bigger screen and everything, but it was just not something I wasn't personally interested in. The iPads caught my interest more. Because really the 13 is basically the 12S. They might as well call it the 12S. But for marketing, obviously people aren't going to get a phone called the 12S because they're like, why would I get that? I might as well just get the 12. With that being said, those are my thoughts on Apple's lineup. Thank you everyone for tuning into this latest video, and look out for more content coming out soon.